See, now I feel like you're baiting me because you invoked the word LARP, and I've been tweeting and thinking a lot about this idea. And it's funny, this is one of the things that the postmodernists really understand. Where I part ways with our postmodernist friends is that they just see LOL, nothing matters. For me, quite the contrary. And I was talking about a poem or something in class. The line was, dressing in your Sunday best. And none of my kids knew what the hell that was. Sunday best, like, what are you talking about? And of course, it's shorthand. Whether you go to church on Saturday or Sunday, right, everybody of a certain generation knew exactly what you meant when you said put on your Sunday finest, right? And so even the guy who went to work every day with a blue collar, and work boots and whatnot, showed up on Sunday in a basic suit. The guy who went to the office building and litigated things in the courtroom, who showed up in a suit Monday through Friday, showed up on Sunday or Saturday in a suit. Right. And there was something about the dignity of the proceeding dictated that you show up appropriately attired. Right. And it was fascinating to me. And I wonder, if you could draw anything out of that. Is the draining of collective spiritual work that we used to call religion, is a draining of that space a cause or an indicator, I wonder?
In that sense, that's where I see this little corner coming to meet this moment.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Because...
So just let me make sure sorry for interrupting, I just want to get it. Instead of the we being, it's like, no, this little corner is a nexus point of many different Christian groups and non-Christian groups. And that nexus point is perhaps the place we should look for as the thing that will rise to the response. Is that what I'm hearing you say? That's really good, Paul.
And that's what I hear when you say, this is how this little corner should steal the culture.
Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
At the stage, can you do the fandango? Scaramouche. It's Scaramouche. She was on D-Live. Actually, I liked her a lot. Where's boy howdy. Okay, hi. Hello, I see the assassins have failed. I am General Griswold Grimm of the 2nd LARP Ingression Protocol, and this is a Grim Grizz live stream. It's entitled Infohazard, Do Not Watch. And yet, don't remember. This is a PvP server. The beast takes what it wants and gets what it gets. Man protects the sacred. And you're part of it now. And we get more points if we tell you. This is an info hazard. Do not watch. It's also a Rudyard kayfabe. If I can swing it. That's the title and the thumbnail we'll be delivering on. I consider the title successfully delivered on. And as such, some of you are just here for the savings throws, and then will no doubt immediately stop watching. So we'll do that for them next, right after the splainer. For anybody new, this is what we're about to do. In the corner has been swamped with a
Mind control.
Mind control.
Mind control.
mind control.
Savings throws for mind control. So this is how bad I have failed. Receiving
I understand you have a respect for serious play. Yes, I have a ritual with my channel where, like reminding fish that they're in water, I remind people that there's a lot of mind control out there, even if you just consider advertising.
So this is how bad I have failed.
I give you a savings throw against the mind control I use against you. So A, you know I'm using it against you, and if it works, I get more points. And B, you get the chance to resist it. You base your resistance on your choice between your will to survive, your social networks, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart.
Mind control will continue in a moment.
Okay, but before we start, you should be advised. We're starting a super fun new super chat goal. A new super fun super chat goal. Yeah, what is it? Well, for 5 super chats of $100 or more, I will read a chapter of Rick Walker's new book. Are you even 9 steps to build a life of meaning. For only 5 super chats, I'll read the chapter. Oh God, they look long. We have to start the goal. Start it. Let's see if it happens. Magic. Oh, look, Upcycle Club sent some gift memberships out there. And if you have a gift membership, you can make fancy pants emojis in the Hive Mind chat, like this howdy one. Okay, and so we also give a special howdy to Mills and Avriel and Upcycle Club, who all invoked the emoji. Neil is beholding. That's it. That's this one. That's beholden there. Okay. Mind control savings throws now. Okay, this is how it goes. You guys know how it goes. I just played the thing. You're swimming in mind control. Just think of commercials. Everybody's trying to persuade you. And especially here, I'm trying to put things in your brain. It's labeled Infohazard, even this one. So you might want a savings throw against all that mind control. To get one, you must choose how you will resist it. Will it be your will to survive, your social network, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart? And then I roll the die. And if the one you chose comes up 10 or higher, you've made your savings throw and take half damage from the mind control, which is, normally you're taking full damage unless you got some other means of protection, like the armor of God. What? Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Wow. Survivalist coming in strong with a 19, prime 19 for survivalist. Socialist also making it with the number of transformation. Lovers of wisdom, Sophia's friends. That's disciples for you. And hard folk pairing it up with the survivalist. Prime 19. Everybody gets half damage to today. Indigo kids. Not you. 6 for you. You got a 6.
It's a whisper in your ear. Now listen here. Remember, embody. It's all so clear. No hidden strings. No puppeteer. We're by your side. Have no fear. I cherish truth. I cherish truth. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
headset's way up there. Turn it off. Hey, oh, Saturn. Why are you invoking Saturn? Everybody made it, Joy, but I think you might take full damage if you missed him. I haven't ever worked out that peculiarity. Well, the saving throws are done, and apparently the dog has things. So we'll do this.
Trip, but that's not necessarily visualism. And so right now, I think we're kind of in like this height of atmospheric stuff, and we see that with the fun nonsense of COVID and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so the point being there is that I would say that it's luciferic to trip, but that's not necessarily always bad. But yeah, I would probably.
No, I would agree with you. Like it short circuits the process, so it's almost like you're, like you just jump into the NFL without training at all, or something like that, and you're just going to get wrecked. Yeah. So like it could be bad, but it also could be used for good. Like maybe that experience could be really formative for you. Yeah. Being in the NFL before you're ready, but like you got to really pay attention and know how to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I was thinking was like maybe there is a way where it would, because right now there's so many people who have trips and they have horrible experiences and it just causes huge trauma in their life. But maybe if it was couched in a more spiritual framework, I think people should still be allowed to trip in their houses and stuff. But like to if for the church to have a coherent position on it would probably be good, and like and maybe I've even thought about maybe like as a baptism thing. Like I don't think every time Eucharist thing would be fitting at all, but like maybe that kind of baptism, because that's kind of the role it played in both of our lives. It's like here is the spiritual world.
I keep thinking of this image. For me, it was sort of like a long-term piñata, and like eventually, like the psychedelics were just a swing, and eventually the piñata exploded, and I was like, I believe in God, and I'm basically Christian. Everyone's a Christian, and we're just lying about it to ourselves.
I mean, yeah, because like
piñata,
because everybody is reaching for that something, that connection, and everybody has a different name for it. A lot of people have a different name for it. I have a question for you, like, so when you saw these things, I don't know a lot of literature about psychedelics, but I know like there's groups that trip and see the same thing, experience the same thing, and it's like that's super common, So you described seeing like this, like almost like what would you describe what you saw? How would you relate? How would you put it on a spectrum of like reality? Like, do you think you saw a little peek behind the veil? And
I wonder what the answer to that question is. The only way for you to find out is to see episode 9 of the Remember Embody Road Trip, now available on the Remember Embody Road Trip YouTube channel, and the link provided in the Hive Mind chat. This is the map of the places they have been and where they are coming, which one of which has my name on it, and that's terrifying. What else? All right, fine. We'll just let it play. You win.
Are you seeing like just the spiritual realm in general, do you think? Or do you think that there's like some nefarious principality or power that is like trying to deceive you? Like, how would you, like, both of you, like...
Pretty much all of that is an option, and it sort of just, like, kind of depends on the person and context, and...
Yeah.
And, dang it, I keep forgetting. I'm about to start saying something else.
Put you on the spot. Oh my god. The things that you saw, do you feel like other people have seen them?
definitely people see a lot of the same things, and there is something to like some of the times I was worried that I was just seeing them because I had like read trip reports before I even like could get my hands on psychedelics. I was interested in them and drugs in general, and then I was learning about them and reading about them. It was like my first religion of sorts. And then I finally got them. Yeah, and then I finally got them, and yeah, it was all, I don't know, it was good at first, and then I don't know. So you're specifically asking about that thing? Oh yes, you can definitely. It definitely feels more than real. So it's like it's super understandable that everyone pretty much thinks that one way or another, and like specifically when you like get to the point on most of these types of drugs, psychedelics-ish things, even like ketamine, where you like break through, that's kind of like a term that's kind of loosely used. Like once you get to that point of the high where you break through, you basically go insane, and that's kind of like where you come in contact with God, essentially, in some shape or another, depending on you. It depends a lot on the person. Everything depends on the person and their.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new, happy. The hours are not what they seem, the hours. Very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new, happy. The hours are not what they seem. The hours are not what they seem. The hours, people very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. King, happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new, happy. The hours are not what they seem, the hours.
All right, that one's a little self-indulgent. Maybe it's just from a movie snuff. It's not an actual snuff. I'm sure. Hi, everybody. This is an Infohazard. Do not watch. What are you watching this for? You've been disclaimed. I hope you've made your savings throws. In other news, around the corner, look at this. Look at this. That's not a Denny hat. It's a Notre Dame hat. Oh, my God. It's Mr. Fats at the 33rd minute. This is over on Clara with dopamine makes us leave our religion.
People.
So the death penalty. I don't.
Why? Why does that, like, why is that the first thing that comes? Like, I just don't get it.
Because, and that's why I pointed to intellectuals in society. Tom Sowell, I think, is very correct when he says, when there is no skin in the game, there is no cost to the suffering you cause in the world, people will then just haphazardly hurt other people.
Okay, let me throw this at you. Isn't there like a whole hell of a lot of cost between, say, the death penalty and losing your allowance? I mean, like,
yes.
Why go the most? I mean, psychological research, you're a psychologist, will tell us that the least effective penalty or punishment is really good for increasing your intrinsic motivation. So why are you jumping to the most extreme?
Because
who cares? No, CC Moon. You don't. We haven't got there yet. We're still touring the corner. Those of the corner. What's that? That's what Mr. Fats isn't in anymore. Oh, and we have the Rudyard kayfabe coming up. But this is an Infohazard. Why are you watching? As members know, over on Grail Country, the members' first release of this spicy thing I'm playing a clip of to promote is going to soon be available to the public in Grail Country, featuring such hits as...
My concern about tribalism is that when it goes too much to being about the collective identity, and you lose the importance of the significance of the actual person, and the distinctiveness of the person. You actually want to have both at the same time, which is what I think that a Christian personalist view of the world offers. Is it's an in between the extremes of both a kind of atomized individualism, which we definitely see as something that our culture has veered toward, and also a kind of destructive collectivism that you can see in destructive collectivist movements like, German fascism or Marxism, in which the importance of the dignity of the individual is lost completely.
Well,
so I think, go ahead.
So I have substantive disagreement.
I know you will, but that's
just
okay.
About everything here. I mean, it's and I'm trying to think how much I want to say. So I think the obsession with being an individual person is just fundamentally bad, and it leads most people astray. Your life is not your own. Individualism is compatible with suicide, but Christians consider suicide a sin. You don't have that level of autonomy or ownership over your life that you can end it like that. Your life is not your own. You belong to a community. Well, you should belong to a community. You should belong to God. But I want to attack this in a number of directions.
One second, I just want to stop you because I'm saying person and not individual.
That spicy stuff is available to members now over at the Grail Country channel at this link. Join now and/or snag a gift membership. I'm eating a cookie though. Remember it.
Agency. We want remember.
That's like me running the death machine from the Princess Bride on you guys.
Now, what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime? I don't know.
All right, this Infohazard stuff, though. This here's the card we have for today. All right, I'll just let you see that. That's the card. That's the card for today. But the coffee's empty. So here's some more from the Estuary Road Trip at the Estuary Road Trip. Hi, Kiki.com. You can plan to visit or Venmo them on remember Estuary Road Trip.com. But here's from, did you close it? No. Integrity.
Experiences and all sorts of shit, but to some degree, there's also, if you shoot far enough out, it's like the same experience for a lot of people. And then,
like a lot of times people say like feeling of oneness and everything, or like
yes, that's like pretty easy to achieve. Like even as a young kid, I got that like after a few tries of doing psychedelics, I'm just like, whoa, like we're all humans. And everyone's like pretending we're not, and everyone's crazy, and it just kind of actually made me like more separate to some degree. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't have psychedelics or drugs for like quite a long period of time, and just drank. And I was a hardcore alcoholic. I drank like a fifth of vodka like every day, and
that's a lot.
yes, and when I finally, when I would like run out of money or whatever, I would withdraw for like a week. I've like been awake for like a week once just from like not having alcohol. It's fucking insanity. Wow. Yes, very, very nuts. And then the last time I quit drinking, I actually had a little seizure. And then so that's how I like decided to like get back into psychedelics, because I was like, I probably like fucked myself up from all this drinking, because I was planning on dying, which did not happen. I was not even close to dying. I was just like fucking putting myself through hell. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'll grow these mushrooms and fix my brain, because I like didn't have anyone to get them from, because I had like no network of anyone pretty much. I have one friend, Chuck, and he also.
Oops, whoops. That's the part of the bad part of changing the Monster Party branding in the middle of a stream instead of brand one that you normally use. It might have an old thumbnail highlighted. Lobster Monkey Goose. That one's very chill. I like it. I like it. Well, essentially what happened was, wait, yeah, we do have to get to that first. We have to get to that first. You see, we ended up in the writing of this card. It felt very much like the things I would be ranting on would be similar to a Rudyard lamp. No, maybe. Regardless, I ended up revisiting an episode. Oh, that's what happened. That's what happened. Point being, there's a lot of talk these days, recently, therefore, then, about the post-war consensus, and as it turns out, that was first underlined by our prophet here, Rudyard. I think this is the timestamp where that happens.
And you refuse to move past it. I cannot overstate how obsessed your society is with the world wars. It's why you're obsessed with either being Nazis or the opposite of Nazis. You just need to forget about the Nazis and move on. It's the only thing you ever think about. I can't overstate that the world wars weren't your fault. It's going to be really hard, but you actually do have to move on or you're going to die. If you don't get past the world wars and the threat of the nuclear annihilation that never happened, your entire society is going to die. You're so obsessed with that era of history due to your society's control by the baby boomer generation, which means you've lost the ability to innovate or even live or create or live happy lives. The boomers will be remembered for thousands of years after this as a generation that nearly killed civilization.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Oh, 3. We got 3 magic missiles, man. The cultist falling to shreds. And that's part of the desperation, depression. Well, what happened was I did that cry for help post the other day. Oh, there's Joyce. About the state I was in, as you'll see. And somebody called me out on that. And so the reason for this Infohazard is by the sacred order of foolish transparency. It's well past time. And I guess that if I wanted to actually convey what I long story, anyway, that's casino deck card of the show is the deuce of clubs. That's will amount to the Rudyard kayfabe. First, we'll go over the calling out.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
But in preparing for the notion for all these things on this card, I got to looking back at my own channel under live streams by oldest, and they go as far as 6 years back. 6 years back. So this could be a long one. And in doing so, somehow I ended up watching this Rudyard one, and the funk that I was in was somehow inverted by watching the branding earlier in this episode. Let's see if it helps with you. Where's here? Do this part.
Here so that we can all calm down a little. Yeah, so grocery stores don't have very good ingredients. That map behind there,
what the hell? Why is my cursor jump going so
apparently
far?
I'm at the right. I don't know what that means. I'll have to
The cursor is supposed to go like 5 seconds. As it turns out, Graham, as it turns out, in stupid long 4-hour videos, it's very sensitive. Thrown into a Brave browser tab, and I'm used to the YouTube backing, which is 5 seconds. This is apparently naturally that, at least in a product that's like 4 hours long. But see, I have this what I have to bring us through this reaping of Rudy is these little notes on this card here that we call timestamps or tree tagging, like as if the content you're going through is a forest and you're walking through it, right, wrapping the orange thing around the tree that doesn't get cut down. These are timestamps, tree tags like that. Since whoever did this, me, circled some of these, let's check out the first one that was circled. This one.
And so sometimes, please have some empathy for me. This is really hard. Doing these spiritual exercises, I feel like I'm cutting myself psychically. It's not that painful, but I'm siphoning off psychic energy to do this. And they say that they find us to be completely pathetic and disgusting.
Oh, I have such resonance with whoever they is in that circled. We got also 842, 852 circled. Yeah, you should have clipped these out already. Whatever.
My people are the Britons, which weren't a people before the British Empire, but formed to be one. They were the nation that conquered the world and first unified the human biosphere. Ironically, the Britons of Arthur's day made a deal with the spirit world. They'd beat the English and the Saxon invaders, which is only true in name, since they were forced to speak an English language, have English genetics.
Whose dear forms you often miss.
Here I am again, everyone. I will say everything again. I wasn't going to make a video tonight, but a story came to me and it wants to be told.
So you always have volume issues when you first start out.
First,
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
December 23rd, 2018. I wonder when it exactly it was my grandma died. I think it might have been the 21st. Actually.
So say we all. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ho, ho, ho.
LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. Well. Oh. What happened was some. Let me double check. I don't want to misquote anybody for reasons. So let me see. Let me double check. It says This is yours to do what you want with it. And therefore, what I want with it is apparently to bring it up on the stream. And it says the fluffy dog called Kayfabe, a companion for more people than just wrestlers. And so we'll be going over that next, which is effectively calling me out on the funk I did. Should you show the post? Sure. That's what a responsible host might do. Let's go back to this tab here where we showed this here, and then we go not 6 years ago, no, but the channel, and then it's a post there, and it's this one. It says, "Sorry, I haven't been live in a while." You might have seen it. It says, "My state is such that I won't let myself risk spreading it, but this too shall pass." Apparently 25 of you liked it. That was nice of you. We appreciate those kind of positive signals to the algorithm. So we'll be going over the response that called me out after that post soon-ish.
Although this world will devastate you, and rejoice although this world will penetrate you, and rejoice although you will not survive. Rejoice you'll never make it out alive.
Excellent rehearsal, gentlemen.
And rejoice your hair, it smells like burning hair. Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off. Oh, rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burn your whole beard off. Rejoice despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will kill you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you to shreds. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
Hey, I love that one, dude. That's gorgeous. Thank you, brother. Wait, who's that brother?
Andrew Jack.
All right. Now we're getting to the Infohazard part. Do not watch. Red church card of the show is the 4 of spades. The 4 of spades. Well, as we'll have it. And it should be noted that the person that sent me this to do it as I please also it has this to do it as I please, and that image there behind the Rudyard kayfabe to do it as I please. Now I get good. Snapping, biting, snarling dog. What are you gnawing on now? A white canine called Kayfabe keeps howling all day. Kayfabe is a dog that lives inside a house with a very grim man who's been quiet as a mouse. I've seen him play with Kayfabe, but not since last Wednesday. I've just got to go see if they are both still okay. I've never been to visit because I'm too skittish to approach, but that fluffy dog Kayfabe might be the trick for us both. A dog's dialogue with no teeth to nip, all bark and no bite inside the script. Leave it, you bitch. Let it all alone. No one needs your snooping outside of their home. He's got people friends. A dog can't do much. A man full grown can't be helped by a mutt. Is that correct? I don't know. Not my question to answer. And what the fuck do I know about any of it anyway? Absolutely not a thing. I'm shellfish like that. There's plenty to know. There's a real live human being in there. What's that face look like? And that's the hobby on my side of things. I will never ask to see because I cannot guarantee to handle anyone with care. I've got that unfortunate compulsion to rip and tear every bobble heart apart just to see the spring inside the ticker. Unhelpful and ill-advised to mess with mechanics. But what about states of being? What about states such as I won't let myself risk spreading it? I'd love to see you try, you blue-eyed fuck. and thus invoking the power of my narcissism and my sacred oath to the sacred order of foolish transparency to make, therefore, this motherfucking stream video. I was thinking about doing it as a video, but I love that putrid shit. Lay it on me. I'm sorry to God, I can't promise to give anything better back. But then again, what the fuck do I know about anyone's particular state of being? He's not a thing. That's about all I know. And I'd like to know more. Blah, blah, blah. More of my pointless platitudes. Why apologize? I thought you said it makes you look bad. Minus 1,000 watts for GG. I guess I've lost 1,000 watts. 1,000 watts.
Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best.
Because if one learns to put a lid on feelings, it's very hard to open up the lid for feeling A, but close it for feeling B.
Yo soy una hija del Inti Sol, de la Pachamama y del Inti Sol. Yo soy hermana del pueblo Coya, del Inti hermano y de la Aymara, de la Aymara, la Aymara. Yo misma me guío a la libertad, el Aymara.
Hello! I see the assassins have failed.
Kayfabe doesn't howl. What he does is he barks loudly and repeatedly, over and over, while you try to stay asleep and wonder why the hell she's not dealing with the dogs barking. And by the time you finally wake up and put on your pants and open the door to say, what the fuck is wrong with the dogs, is when you see that he was barking like that because she was dead on the floor. And maybe she wasn't if you had gotten up sooner. But he's never howled like that.
This is how I steer. This is me chasing this net, you know? Yeah. This is how I steer. Yeah. This is me chasing this net, you know? Yeah. This is how I steer.
Shifty. It's just a camera. It goes. There's a reason there's a dog in my house, and I'm not a dog person. I love other people's dogs, but Kayfabe spends most of his day lying on the floor over there while I sit in front of a screen. And as I recently saw over on that beautiful Devil's Champion platform, a wonderful X post, definitely not a tweet. Don't dead name it. Don't dead name it. This thing where you can officially look into Internet of Bodies now. No, this wasn't it, but this is kind of important. Announcement here that from Hustle Bitch _ at Hustle Bitch _, but they've paid. They're paid there. They seek the truth and share it, but they're not for personal financial advice and for entertainment purposes only. But he has a elite following. Can you see on the screen there? He has 1,337 follows, and that's elite. That's fucking elite. And so Hustle Bitch says they're watching you through your Wi-Fi now. That Xfinity has just launched the Wi-Fi Motion, a new feature that tracks movement inside your home with nothing but Wi-Fi signals. No cameras, no sensors, just your ambient backscatter. And there's a thing called Internet of Bodies, and you should officially look into that now. But the part we're looking for is found while you play branding.
Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
Right. Well, see, he lays there on the floor. He's up to like 3 walks a day, but it's like a 10-minute walk, so I don't know if it counts. But that's how he spends his life. That with me and the 4 cats, it's not a pleasant life, because as this post shows, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to sit in front of a screen instead of living.
What's reality? I don't know. When my bird was looking at my computer monitor, I thought, that bird has no idea what he's looking at. And yet, what does the bird do? Does he panic? No, he can't really panic. He just does the best he can. Is he able to live in a world where he's so ignorant? Well, he doesn't really have a choice. The bird's okay, even though he doesn't understand the world. You're that bird looking at the monitor, and you're thinking to yourself, I can figure this out. Maybe you have some bird ideas.
Keep it coming. Never know, I'll never die. I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Oh, bonus. The first part of this card here says, Jesus don't want me for a sunbeam. So I don't know if it's because I sold my soul to the devil for a larger penis when I was 11, or if it's because I knew I was turning my back on God when I joined the vampire cult, or that when I got baptized in the name of Jesus, not the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, because that's not a name. And I wasn't filled with the Holy Ghost if it was because the only unforgivable sin is to blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, and I had been running around calling it the Jews, but I know I don't have any life-changing experiences when I invite Jesus into my heart. And so that's the Jesus don't want me for a sunbeam part of the line. And the last time we really had any communication was like before the dog was barking like that earlier in that day. I like sincerely in my heart cried out to him, Jesus, help me. And then within 24 hours, she was dead. So maybe that's, I don't know what's going on with all of that. But she, Agent Holly Coco, as it was, is an interesting case study in the course of my life. As you know, it began, my live streaming career began when I was in Portland, Oregon, and having been primed by Peterson and Rogan, was eating only hamburger meat and oranges. I think I had oranges. And experimenting with hallucinogenics before I came across both Baba Wanyama and this internet YouTube channel called Live the Veil, who's apparently had an adventure since I last saw him. And it got into the whole conspiracy thing and underground tunnels and children's sex rings and human trafficking and whatnot, because Podesta and voodoo and that whole thing. Basically, the season 1 of True Detective, right? But instead of just being Louisiana, it's like the fact that there's this guy named Podesta who apparently looks an awful lot like the father's genes of that guy who from Lincoln Park, replaced by the lady from Dead Sarah, right? Anyway, there's that whole side of reality or internet speculation of the unknown parts of reality that are you can find Mouthy Buddha's stuff. It's got he called it Pedogate. It's a good documentary. It got brought up with the whole Anthony Bourdain, who has resurfaced on X. And interestingly, it happened on X after, I believe, the recording from Nate today with this Paul Renee Nichols guy. But check this shit out. You go to Share Tab instead. More. Where's the transcript, mother? That's not right. Anyway, they mentioned Bourdain in this. But you should know that there's this thing that's been announced called Southeastuary. I'll tell you about it right after this brainwash.
Remember, embody. There is no agency. We want what's best for you.
Once upon a time on the internet, there was a fella named Isaac Cappy who had been in that Thor movie with Natalie Portman in the desert when he's on Earth. And he came out and said Seth Green and a whole bunch of people like Tom Hanks were pedophiles. And having been inspired by the Lift the Veil channel to make my own channel, since he got annoyed with me being in his chat all the time, being a medical transcriptionist, I'm able to type really fast, you see. And so it's easy for me to dominate the chat like a troll if I want, or however, a community helper. Like there's people that a lot of the people that have wrenches around here. Oh, look, someone. Thank you very much. We're now at 47% of our coffee goal. Yeah, it's true. Look at this. Look at this. 9 steps. 9 steps to build a life of meaning. You could have a whole chapter read for only 5 separate donations of $100 or more. But oh yeah, you were gonna estuary. South estuary. What is all this estuary? Oh, by the way, if Dumir, if John and Jonathan, like John and Joe, if John and Joe are Generation Z, are they Zoomers? Traveling, yeah, Zoomer. No, there was another Umer in there. Loomer? No. Boomer, no, yeah, it was like Boomer Shoomers on there, but that doesn't make any sense. Boomer Sooners. Anyway, there's a couple of shroomheads on a road trip investigating these things called estuaries. Part of the estuary thing is they have conferences such as this new one just announced, South Estuary, with guest speakers Jordan's Wood, Esther Meeks, Jordan's Hall, Chris Green, Ned Heil, Sherry Suter, and Joseph Reisen, which is, I thought it was interesting that the Green and Jordan's name has fallen onto Dr. Chris. And this lady's going to inherit the earth from the Wooden Hall. But they're leading the Dialogos. Even so, even though these are the speakers, come. It's in North Carolina, which is exciting. You can see the lithium for yourself, maybe. I'm very excited about it. When is that again? That's October 17th and 18th. Very excited. What's the website? southestuary.com.
There's a lot of whistling past the graveyard going on, for sure.
Whistling past the graveyard. That's a good one.
Yeah. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. You know,
everyone's going to see a lot of that. You understand? So where were we? Once upon a time, let's see what happened. So I had talked to that guy who's in these Pedogate documentaries because it turns out he fell off a bridge and got hit by a car. He jumped up. He was, well, it's interesting. It's interesting how 3 days he had live streamed saying he wasn't suicidal and then somehow dropped off a bridge and got hit by a car. This guy that there's a live stream conversation with me and him on this channel here. And so I was into that whole sort of thing. And at the time before I got into my wild, I don't know if it was the same day that happened or it was just when I knew what I was getting into with this whole, like, taking this truther seriously. Like, it's actually, if this is actually happening, how am I behaving? And, it was funny. I got it was back on Lift the Veil used to do his backstage on Twitch before he streamed on YouTube for a little bit. It was kind of like to pull people off of YouTube onto Twitch, but it was great because it was like meta. You got both layers. And after this whole voodoo gate started coming out, this from the Hive Mind chat, before I started my own channel, from the Hive Mind chat, I was like, all right, dude, if this shit is legit, you can call that baby coffin making place and ask the guy some questions. And he did it live up until the guy on the other end of the phone said some shit about a lawyer. And that was fascinating because the man presents as like an autistic guy with a cat behind him. Back in the good old day, he was endorsed by a cat. He's no longer endorsed by a cat, unfortunately. So, but those whole motif that you could be a guy with a cat in the background and do a show and not starve by doing that. It was very inspiring. But anyway, it was that questionable material. And like not long after that interview I have here on my channel, my grandma had the bad bowl of chili. at bingo and was climbing up the stairs and then ended up in the hospital. And so I was given the opportunity to return to this place from Portland, Oregon for that occurrence. And then I got out of the whole truther thing, as it turns out, after that. Well, it took a while. It took a while, but somewhere along the way, I followed Owen Benjamin over to this platform called D Live, and it was where people like you could buy, instead of making super chats and whatnot, you could buy lemons and give them to me. And then I had the magic chest box to open for everybody to distribute the lemons to you, so that everyone would get involved with that cryptocurrency. And PewDiePie went there. You know, he's got something new we can bounce to, right? Branding, stop it.
Midwestuary 2025, August 22nd through the 24th in Elmhurst, Illinois. A weekend you won't want to miss, with special guests Kale Zeldin, Paul Vanderklay, Rod Dreer, Elizabeth Oldfield, John Vervaeke, and Jonathan Peugeot. Midwestuary 2025, the Fellowship of the Spirit. Stay tuned for more details. Visit us at midwestuary.com for ongoing updates.
This guy here, PewDiePie, with 110 million subscribers, who's recently released this I'm done with Google thing. He also had gone over to that platform at the time, so I thought it had a chance of actually becoming a platform with all that fun stuff.
I was trying desperately to find a keyboard that has Japanese, Swedish, and English. I really like the Swift kind of typing, you know. I just couldn't find an open source alternative, and I was like, what do I do? And then I realized the alternative is Microsoft or Google, okay? And I realized the keyboard that they offer is connected to the internet. Why? Why?
Did you get that on video? No, I'm not going to. That's I'll show you. Look, the gator, obviously. Send me that. 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 Hey, yo. I just feel bad for this game. My God. Yes, okay.
Corn, have some corn, folks. I was over there on that D Live, and I had switched to more like this, you know, more of a, what do you call it there? Atmospheric engineering, or a vibing, you know, creating this virtually not alone space. There you go. You get +2, Chris Howard, and +4 for the emoji version, Mills. And then, so I had been over there on that, and there was some others. That's like, if that's what you're doing, if that's how you're spending your video watching time, watching shows instead of videos, Blue Church carded the show is the Jack King right of diamonds.
Just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. happy, many down, many Jack King from right, just new King big, great can new happy, the owls are not what they seem, the owls. People very just King, great King. People error, people king, big just king, king. Happy, many down, many Jack King from right, just new King, big, great can new happy, the owls are not what they seem. The owls are not what they seem. The owls, people very just king, great king. People error, people king, big just king, king. King, happy, many down, many Jack King from right, just new King, big, great can new happy, the owls are not what they seem, the owls.
I spared you the second snuff part. Honking on the bobo. Honking on the bobo is a national pastime for degenerates and affluent people alike. Okay, we're in the kayfabe story still, right? This lady. So when you're a grifter and you're doing via atmospheric engineering live streamings for virtually not loans, bubble, make the bubble, and you start the virtually not alone network and try and get other people to take up the bubble and realize what it is, what service we're actually providing to what seem to be a lot of people in their 50s and 60s, actually. Interestingly, cryptocurrency, maybe, and other degenerates, like actively degenerating. It was something that was floating in the atmosphere. Those were additional atmospheric engineering streams, really, but like public self-degeneration kind of nastiness. So I was doing this work over there, and I had someone grifting doing those works over there. You notice when what's affectionately known as pay pigs are around, or whales as we respectfully call them, well, see, the whole pay pig thing is different because it's sort of like a harem. It's like the streamer gets a harem of donations from a group of women's, and they sometimes, and according to testimonies, lead them on in like romantic ways for additional funding. And as such, there's sometimes some resulting drama. And it turned out I ended up on the phone with one of these peoples. And proceeded to hear in the entirety of the story, crux moments being like at one point calling corners after getting out of a bad relationship, and then meeting a guy the next day who ended up being her fiance, and then mysteriously perishing in an event in which she ended up hugging the Supreme Court justice, like the Sotomayor one, at the funeral, and being told something horrible in her ear because she was so vividly about investigating his perishing, which I think was a result of the lawsuit that he had encouraged her to get against the sexual abuse she endured at a job at a very large hotel chain. And both the only people in her life that supported her in that event also are no longer on the planet. Curiously, I've seen the documentation, but this person comes into my life via this weird D-Live course of events, right around the time I'm wondering why people on the service to self-pay on the dark side would ever choose to be that way. Like, you know you lose in the end. Why would you ever pick that team if you know how it ends? And so I was curious about these sort of things and the conspiracy truther person. And then this lady who's like actively working for one of the Rockefellers during our correspondences, and eventually before moving in here, was writing for the lady who's behind Tim Pool and works with Jack Posobiec and shit. Like I don't know, the world got real small for me for a while. And this being a failed relationship that started as she informed me she had rented a cabin here in Oklahoma and was coming and was going to be alone there after also having threatened the maker of many early brandings with physical harm if I didn't go to this cabin, which strung out into a relationship. That's why I had opened my my channel, because there was live streams from the time when I fled this house because she had flown into the area, and if I knew that if I was at the house and she showed up on the porch, I would never get away. And I fled to my friend's house until she returned to New York, and anyway, she ended up moving in, and at some point, I was like, why don't you get a dog so you have something other than me to pay attention to crawl up the ass of in a horrible way. But then after she died and the dog was here, like dropping him in the pound just was beyond my capabilities. So now he lives a life where, he basically lays around all day. And like, despite the fact that I walk him and stuff, and people are like, oh, I love your dog. I'm like, you want to take him? And no, so I would like for him to have a better life than with me. But right now, it is what it is. And that's the kayfabe story. Jux's deck card of the show is the Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts. She'll beat you if she's able.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
Chris Howard suggests I take the dog to Chicago and give it to Esther Meek. I don't know if she would take it. I don't know if she would take him. Here's, since I don't want to talk for a while, here's they passed me saying important things. No, not that. Here-ish.
Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off. Oh, rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burned your whole beard off. Rejoice, despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will kill you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you to rest. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
Hey, I love that one. That's gorgeous. Thank you, brother. Who's that? Andrew Jack.
That's amazing. Right as I was sitting there thinking to myself, here you are 27 minutes into the stream and you have no interest whatsoever in the $10 super chat basketball Hawaii story. But like, maybe the people that are interested in the basketball Hawaii story just aren't the people with $10. And maybe I should tell the one group about the other group right when those thoughts were going. Basketball Hawaii story was when I I went to middle school and my mom had some bandanas and I wore a blue one, and the guy in my sixth grade class told me how it was dangerous for me to be wearing a blue thing because he was wearing a red one, and I was like, what the fuck, man? And then later, I was like, there was guys I was playing basketball with, and I was trying to fit in with people so hard. I was like, jump me in, guys. And they were like, we're not a gang or whatever. I'm like, do it anyway. I want to see if I can take it. And I had them beat me on the ground on the basketball court in Hawaii. That was that story. Through my with the reaping word encircled. So ignore the first 7 seconds of this.
How you pass through one level from one generation to another, but at the same time, it's just half an hour of friction, and when it's over, it's over.
That's right. That was more of one of the soundboard ones, I thought. But then the next timestamp we have is at 1:20.
Or religion or social institutions or a church, you know what I mean. And the reason you're miserable is not you, the viewer's fault. Instead, it's your society's fault. The reason your people don't have the will to live is that your society hit a really difficult level of the game. The era when a species first attains godlike power, but lacks the wisdom to use it properly. And this is something that every species that hits this level archetypally has to deal with. And we're really proud of you as humans, because from what I've heard, we hit this 100,000 years earlier than what they expected.
So say we all, yuck, 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 ho, ho, ho.
Next on the card, the Infohazard shit. Sophia's abortion to the Shroud of Turin. So, cosmology, I find, the thing of it is, when on the box, it clearly says for ages 10 and up, and you're only 8, and don't even know what the word precocious means. You can formulate notions about like the difference between your true self and your manifest self by enacting moral dilemmas, facing moral conundrums in imaginary realms in your friend's world. And your exposure to imaginary realms, how'd you like to be alone and drowning? How'd you like to be alone and drowning? So the thing is, you travel between these different imaginary worlds, and they have different rule sets. And those rule sets include whether or not deities exist and whether or not magic is in the world and such like that. And that perspective allows you to view reality as such. It's like, okay, then what's the rule set in this place? How am I supposed to know what my character can and cannot do, and which way to steer my life if I don't have the rule set? So what's really going on? And what your view of that is your cosmology. And now in the Christian cosmology, since Jesus doesn't want me to be a sunbeam, that means I'm probably, from some perspectives, that means eternal damnation, right? And let's look at that for a minute. That's like eternal conscious torment is the one for okay, so you get like maybe 90 years, and if you fuck it up too bad, or just don't figure out the right way to express your faith or find your faith, or you fail to hear the call back to God, or that you're tares sown by the devil to grow amongst the wheat. You don't know what you are, and so that's one option. But like, it's really hard for me, as somebody as intelligent as I seem to be, to think that any God worth worshiping would give you eternity of anything for 100 years of fuck ups. That just seems way disproportionate. However, if the wheel of samsara and reincarnation is the eternal conscious torment, it makes a lot of sense. My favorite my favorite explanation of the world of your place in the world is the line from the Gospel of Thomas, which they tell me is a Gnostic gospel, and I understand that the Gnostics believe that essentially that this realm that we exist in was a virgin birth of Sophia, whose wisdom. But they call it Sophia's abortion, and they're pretty upset about being in it. For whatever reason, they don't like it here. They don't like it here, and I don't like it here. In a world where you look around, one ruled by the prince of this realm. Where the will isn't done, as in heaven, when it's not his will being done, because his body's in front of screens, and you are like making what doesn't really account for a living off of keeping people in front of screens, because they're going to be in front of screens anyway. And if at least they realize that they're doing it together, there's something that can come about, instead of being just one person staring at the screen by themselves and maybe leaving a comment. Like they know they're together and they're doing it at the same time. And you have evidence that a single testimony that one guy reported to me that he thought my point about you're supposed to be holding your representatives accountable, and you don't even know what's going on your city council, much less your state level, but you're happy to argue about presidential things way outside of your zone of proximal influence. But like one guy said, because I said that shit, he actually went to the city council meetings. And so I do have that to report as a success in this screen nightmare. But it doesn't seem we're wrong. And even in the Christian cosmology, we're in a fallen state where they feed off of our separation from God as a source of energy. And then we have also optional, maybe this is more like the Ra cosmology, where it's just a part of spiritual evolution. We all go back as like returning to source. On our journey back to source, we advance through levels where we start as plants, and eventually we just move along the whole octave of possible awareness experiences on the way back to God, which comes from the how'd you like to be alone and drowning thing, because you see the key difference between the law of one and standard understanding of Christian and or other mythology is whether or not the creator and the creation are the same thing, or if the creator and the creation are separate, like whether it made the Svimsva emptiness to form the world, how all that works, right? And how'd you like to be alone and drowning, which would be like what would happen if you were infinite awareness, right? And so you'd separate the waters.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
And so, like, the thing of it is like the roots of the Gnosticism, and that the definition of this place being that is one thing. And then you have the God, the source itself manifesting at this level to show us the way, because it was so different. It's like such a shitty level where like horrible things can happen, and powerlessness and powerfulness. This part on the way back to God where you pick how you're going to love, whether you expand it outward or pull it inward, or service to others or service to yourself. And then once you get up to level 6, all the people that picked the evil and were shitty the whole fucking time, they get to switch back over at level 6 and just go back to God too, which is, I don't know, feels unjust, but like maybe, but not really, because you would have gone through levels 3, 4, and 5 in dystopian hell, which is where we choose like power and control over it. And for Source itself to manifest in this to show us the way is even to me more significant, given the fact we're genetically engineered abominations that didn't fall far from the tree, and that's why we've done it to monkeys. And the thing is, if you're willing to entertain either notion that one where apparently you fucked up and sold your soul and now you're going to fiery hell, or that you're here to love others or yourself a whole lot, and you just don't like any of it and don't want to play, and you're stuck in it anyway, which means that according to the second system, the eternal conscious torment continues and you reincarnate into it, probably in a shittier spot if you kill yourself, right? If you think it sucks here so bad you want out, you think the next time around you're going to get to start off as like a white person in 2020? No, sir. No, sir. You don't get to be born in America twice. That doesn't happen. And thank goodness for the Shroud of Turin, because it lets me believe that such a thing happened, and that there is a way, even if the asking into a heart doesn't seem to do anything, there is still a way you could pursue if you could do anything other but sit in front of a screen and smoke. So instead, you'll just probably wait for it patiently. Annihilation or metamorphosis. And so it's that worldview that's I'm not the smartest person I know, but all the people that are smarter than me, I only see it manifest in like hyper attention to detail and stuff, and they don't, even those people give me no good worldviews to inhabit, and so I live in this one where it's like that I was created to serve. Like the last time I left the church, I talked to the pastor who had baptized me, and I said, "What does God want of me?" And he's like, "To serve." And like in my mind at the time, that was like, "Oh, so created slaves. Great. Thanks for that. I'm still pissed off about existing, if that's the case. I don't like that world, and that's I don't know. That's the Infohazard, because I don't see it better. I don't know what your particulars are, but like cosmology wise, it's a rough spot. And if you're at all happy person, these are dangerous cosmologies to consider, really, to introduce into your mind as possibilities. It's probably not safe.
You must eradicate from your essence childish folly. You must eradicate from yourself childish folly. You must abandon childish things.
You must grow up.
You must abandon.
You must grow up. Grow up.
You must grow up.
Grow up.
You must abandon childish things.
You must grow up.
You must grow up.
Grow up.
You must grow
Grow.
up. Grow up.
Grow.
Grow up.
Grow.
Grow up.
Grow.
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 Grow. Grow. Grow. Grow.
And I guess it's my lack of appeal to whales, and my failure to pay the internet for 2 months, or afford Kiki getting space. my inability to milk like 1,300 people, make a living off of 1,300 people, as Pastor Paul said. The weight of failure actively degrades my ability to perform the atmospheric engineering service I believe I do provide. And that throws me into like, well, and like that I see no way out of the situation where I'm responsible for the lives of 4 cats and a dog and not able to feed them reliably. And so those things, those that just the suck of it, right? Just it makes it hard to make watchable content. And there you have it. Where's the train?